Now, during the first 10 years, about 10 years that I owned the RD, I did nothing but change things, make parts for it, change exhaust systems, change parts on the motor, put new carburetors on it. We did a lot of things. But one of the most interesting things to me was when I put the expansion chambers on for the first time. I had done this before with 350s. On the 400, just a little bit different. The 350 and 400 pipes don't interchange. So I got a brand new set of DG pipes, and I did a separate video on doing the install. But getting them on, there was just a lot of tuning with the carburetors, and it just goes on and on and on. But in the end, I look back, it was a lot of fun. Now, Luciano had ordered some real expensive pipes for one of his 400s, and you can see in the picture here, I still had the mufflers on mine at the time. But one of the things that happened right away, and it's pretty obvious, you don't have to go too far to figure it out. If you get these to where they're tuning well, the mileage goes right down the drain. And so what Luciano did, and we found out very quickly, this was one of the good choices. A GS 1100E gas tank is almost a drop-in fit on an RD. And when I put the pipes on mine, the mileage really went down by about a third. So you knew they were working. But the downside is you really, it's like having a bike with a very small gas tank. But anyway, the tank, the big tank that when Luciano put it on, the one he had, and I had painted it to match, I did 3 of these, and all of it with the Kenny Roberts ladders and everything. But that mileage thing right in the beginning, when you put a set of tuned pipes on, if they're working the way they should, you can pretty much figure your mileage is going to go down by about 30% or more if you really get them working. Anyway, that's the truth, part of the fun. In the course of doing all the tuning, I had decided, after spending X amount of time jetting the original carburetors, that I wanted to have new Sudco carburetors and new Mikunis from Sudco. And that turned out to be quite an adventure. It made the bike a lot more rideable. They were very easy to tune. And the bottom line on the whole thing was, if you get brand new carbs from Sudco, before you even order them, check out the video on the channel, because believe me, it's not plug and play. Those carburetors, they tell you at Sudco that it's a plug and play. It's anything but. But when you get it done, you basically then have brand new, absolutely precision carburation. Luciano was real happy with the way his relatively expensive set of pipes worked out, and I'm not sure in the end which. He had 2 sets. He had a set of DG pipes. In fact, he just bought another set of DG pipes for his 350, But I don't remember. We never drag raced them to see which ones were better. But I know the ones I got, the DGs, and I changed the stingers on them, among other things. And the biggest issue I had with the DGs was getting them to seal up by the engine. Now, a lot of people wouldn't care. They just let a little bit of oil drip down from time to time like a dirt bike would. I don't like that at all. I wanted that to seal perfectly. And the solution I had was the red gasket sealer was the only way I could get it to seal. I always add a little bit of oil to the fuel just for safety's sake, just from the good old days of racing at Amar. And once I got the front of this sealed up the way I was happy with it, it wasn't dripping and drooling, it just was a whole lot nicer to me at the end of a ride. I didn't have to spend 20 minutes wiping a bike off. And the other thing, the stingers I added to it were basically to keep the oil off the back of the bike. That little extension wasn't a tuning thing. That was just to keep the oil off the back of the bike. So over the course of many years, the tune pipes were just a lot of fun. A little bit more noisy. Well, maybe to be fair, a lot more noisy. And what happened, of course, during COVID, we switched from riding in Bear Mountain, which was pretty much shut down. I started riding in a populated area where this was not in my favor, and I just was not happy about attracting all that attention. And I put the stock exhaust system back on, but I kept the new carburetors. So over the course of having the pipes and the carburetors interchange, it was just a very good learning experience. And to this day, I enjoy all of those old videos that show the adventures of back in that day. And every one of them was an exciting adventure. But the tune pipes, if you're a real two-stroke guy and you really don't mind having a little bit extra noise, and if you don't mind having that little bit extra, well, less mileage, not more, the tune pipes really are a lot of fun. Now, the red gasket sealer was the only way I ever got the front of the pipes in the flange to seal up totally tight. And that worked out great. But another thing that contributes to it, I figured out, I got a giant hose clamp, and where the two pipes come together underneath the motorcycle, you can make it that where they're both the widest, that they come together with a clamp so that they don't vibrate. And when I did a lot of experimenting with that. Once I held the two pipes together that way, right at the highest point, right underneath the shifter, it killed a lot of vibration too. Now, I also kept a very accurate list of the jetting for the new carburetors and the old ones. Here you can see one of each. And it's not exactly the same, but if I ever want to go back to the pipes, I know the jetting to start. Now, another interesting little side note about expansion chambers on RDs. This is my original 73 race bike that Ray had owned. He bought it from me when I was done with my illustrious racing career, and he's still got it. Now, it's a long story. This is what it looks like today after I did about a 500-hour restoration, but look at the pipes. Those are the pipes Kenny Augustine did some work on. They had flat spots ground into them from club racing. This bike, when I restored it, Ray got a Bultaco fairing for it, and both Ray and I had raced his Bultaco, so that was kind of cool. Now, this was one of the fun things we always enjoyed doing up by Perkins. You get a guy that's never been on an RD, and these guys all have sport bikes and R6s and stuff, and they get on a bike and they go, holy mackerel, is this thing light? Wow, holy mackerel. Now, and then they'd be, go for a ride with them and they'd think, oh, I'm just going to smoke this guy in the twisties. Sorry, never worked out that way. And we had many good days with the bike after the restoration was over. And again, Ray was up here many times. He has a KTM 390 also. And he's got a Bandit, and I can't even keep track of it. More bikes, Kawasaki 400s. But anyway, this bike is the jewel of the fleet. This is the one. He's won every bike show it's entered. And every time he's up here with the bike, These are in the days when we used to go to Perkins. Everybody wants to sit on a bike. It's low, it's light, it feels like you're sitting on a bicycle. And boy, when you kick it over, those expansion chambers, they don't have a lot of fiberglass left. They can blow your eardrums out. So my RD has evolved over the 12 years I've owned it. I'm going to be 80 years old real soon, and I still enjoy getting on that bike, going through the gears. And when it has the tune pipes on it, just put earplugs in. That's all you can do. Now, if you're new to our channel, we have a very, very eclectic channel. One of the new features we have now is some of the videos are grouped into groups that you can access all the videos for one category in one mouse click. And it should be very convenient and very handy. Just check out the feature on the main screen playlist. And thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. We appreciate your support, and it makes this channel possible with all the things we do, the painting, the wheels, the polishing. And please take a second or two and hit the like button. And thanks everyone for watching.